Hello everybody, welcome back to Innovation Now, and in today's video I will be giving an all-in-all recap of 2014 from a technological standpoint. So starting off the year of 2014, CES is usually the biggest conference for consumer electronics, and we're gonna give you guys a rundown of CES. So the first thing that I thought was a pretty big thing for CES was the Steam machines. You know, everybody knows that Steam is the software for PCs or computers in general for you to play video games on, and the Steam machines which were are computers directly for the Steam software. Also, Razer's module project called Christine, where they had different ports that you put together. This kind of reminds me of Project Aura from Google. Also, another big thing at CES was 4K. We all know that this year was supposedly the year of 4K and also the year of wearables. That's why CES also had a ton of wearables, but most of them were directed toward fitness, like the Gear Live and some of the other wearables like the Fitbits. And some wearables that weren't directed toward fitness was the Pebble Steel. That was also another big thing that happened at CES, along with 3D printing, and especially 3D printing food. Question mark about how that tastes, but I don't know. We'll see. Another thing was curved TVs, so you can bring it back to 4K. 4K is the resolution of TVs. I'm pretty sure you guys know that by now. If you guys want actual explained video about what 4K is, the resolution of monitors and TVs, go ahead and leave it in the description or comment it below. So now for the tablets division. The tablet area for 2014 was a sort of quiet storm, to be honest. One thing that was big and also really great to be released was the Microsoft Surface Pro 3. That also questions the name laptop anymore. It's a tablet, but it also can be used for productivity. And since it really can't sit on your lap so well, again, it questions the laptop term. Also, the Amazon Fire HP or HDX 8.9 was also another nice tablet that was released throughout the year. A lot of people who are with Amazon, the Amazon Fire tablets, and the Amazon lovers who have Prime and all that good stuff, that was definitely a nice hit for them. Another thing was the Nvidia Shield tablet, which was the best gaming tablet. Has really great specs, and also it was a little sneak peek as to what the Nexus 9 was possibly going to be, or maybe a revamped Nexus 8, since there was a rumor for the Nexus 8 to be announced, since the 7 and then the 10 happened, but now there's a 9. So on to the Nexus 9. Nexus 9, I think, is one of the best Google tablets made in 2014. And it's a 9-inch display, and it is really good when it comes to the screen. The display looks beautiful. Also, another thing that was also announced was the Huawei MediaPad X1, which had a SIM card tray, which allowed you to use it as a phone, but then also was able to use it for data. So it questioned, was it a phone or a tablet? It's a 7-inch tablet. They called it a MediaPad, so I'm not sure what it really was. But also another thing that was released was the Apple iPad Air 2, and it wasn't much change from the iPad Air 1 or the iPad Air in general, but it had the fingerprint scanner and I'm pretty sure a much better display. Alright guys, so now for the wearables category. This year was supposed to be the year of 4K and the year of wearables, and it was pretty well fulfilled to that name, so to speak. The Android Wear, first off, Android Wear was announced and is also released, and it's a great operating system for wearables. It's essentially Google Now, and I have a whole separate video on that. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, I'll put the link down below for you. But the #1 anticipated watch for a wearable was the Moto 360. Everybody wanted to know when the Moto 360 was coming out and what would be the specs and how would it run with the round face instead of the square. But that was probably the #1 selling smartwatch of 2014. Also, there was other smartwatches that were released, like the Samsung Gears, which Samsung released an array of gears: the Gear Live, the Gear 2, all that stuff, the Gear Fit, and also Bevel Steel, like I said initially before, for their CES was released, following up the original Pebble, and the Fitbit Flex, along with the Asus Zen watch and the LG G watch. That was the first release smartwatch. And also the announced but not yet released Apple Watch, which has attracted a lot of attention to a lot of the Apple fanboys. Hint to you, Lou. Yeah. And that's really it for wearables. Now on to the camera division. It seemed like everybody on YouTube upgraded to the Panasonic GH4, except for me, who's stuck with the Nikon Coolpix. But it's good. The Panasonic GH4, which I think is one of the most, the first affordable, so to speak, and most affordable 4K camera. A lot of YouTubers I know have upgraded to it. And also, another part for the cameras division was that the cameras on smartphones have gotten a lot better, and a couple companies have taken a different advantage on how smartphones use their cameras, like how HTC used the dual camera to be able to optimize the focusing on pictures after they're being taken, and also the fact that they had the ultra pixel again, which was kind of a failure, so to speak, but also not. It was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as it was supposed to be. Also, the GoPro Hero 4, which I believe is the first 4K GoPro. Again, hint to the year of 4K, 2014. And the Sony RX100 Mark IV. Or, sorry, Mark III. Mark IV, 2015. But the Mark III was also a really good pocket camera that I know a lot of YouTubers have recommended for starting out YouTubers, and it's also really good point and shoot camera. Conferences is a small category where broke down a couple conferences. The biggest one was CES, as I said before, with all those good and great products announced. And then after that there was, from what I remember, I believe it was Google I/O after that, or maybe MWC, I'm not sure. But one thing I know about MWC is Mobile World Congress. There was something released called a Smart Glove, which was supposed to help you solve problems on, I'll just give you an example. For a construction worker and there's something going wrong at the area, and he puts on the Smart Glove, which allows you to use NFC and a couple other capabilities that allows you to tell you the problem and also how to fix it. And it also uses some virtual reality with some goggles. I'm not sure exactly how it is, but I'll also leave a link in below of what CNET was able to explain to me as what it was. Also, there was Motorola's Congress in Chicago, and where they released their biggest 4 products: the Moto 360 and the Moto X and the G, and I think the Q, which is the earpiece thing that goes. I have a video on that as well. I'll place that in the description as well. And also Google I/O, which where they talked about material design, Android L, which is later on announced to be Android Lollipop 5.0, and Android Auto, and a whole bunch of stuff was released, Android One, and that's really it for the conferences. The biggest division of 2014, we all know that without our smartphones from day to day, without them to be able to take great photos and make those phone calls, of course, is what they're initially used for, a lot of things would not be done, alright? So for the biggest division of the recap of 2014, is the cell phone division, right? So starting off, we can start off with the beginning of the year, where HTC was released the HTC One M8, which I talked about before, with the dual camera refocusing ability and great HTC Sense software on the Android platform. Also, the Samsung Galaxy S5 was released, their flagship, which IP67 certified or waterproof and dustproof. I'm not sure exactly what certification is, but that was that. It's a good phone. It's a good phone, decent camera, and then a heart rate sensor was the biggest thing about that. They really marketed that well as well. And also the LG G3 with their laser, that laser camera, and again, their buttons on the back of their phone. They choose their choice to have the buttons on the back, and the Quad HD display, of course. Next thing was the OnePlus One, also known as the flagship killer, right? This was the out-of-state phone, really, if it's safe to say, kind of like the holy grail of the phones. Like, if you got this, you were the cool kid on the block, you know, that type of stuff. The OnePlus One, with their invite system and a lot of tricky, intricate ways of trying to be able to purchase the phone, created really great exclusivity. And also after that, the Note 4, and the Note 4 Edge, which Samsung again trying something new like it did last year with the Round, their Edge, which is literally just a drop off on the edge, which allows you to use that edge to its fullest extent, which is getting sports. It's a lot of capabilities with that edge. The Moto X, with the coolest thing that I thought, and that a lot of people looked over, was the ring around the camera to try and help with the flash on the photos. I've seen it. There's even light rings that you can purchase to put in put your DSLR in the ring to be able to get nice, good quality lighting. And I was hoping for that to happen. From what I've saw or seen the reviews on, the Moto X camera is kind of a disappointment again, like last year, but who knows. Also, the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus, their biggest phones Apple has ever released, and also pretty good selling. From my point of view, I would like the 6 Plus better than the 6. I mean, my hands aren't that big, but I don't know, I just like bigger phones. Also, the Samsung Galaxy Alpha, which should be named the Samsung Galaxy Beta because it's not the top dog. The specs were very, very similar to the iPhone 5S specs, 1850 milliamp hour battery, and so on and so forth. I think it was to kind of rival or try and taste and figure out why so many people love the iPhone so much. But there's a lot of setbacks to it that I don't think they've realized yet. Also, the Nexus 6, which, oh, tell me about that phone. The thing's a beauty. Also, codenamed Shamu. It's a huge 6-inch device, hence the name Nexus 6. And also, the Firefox phone that was announced at MWC for $25, running on Firefox OS. That was just announced. I don't believe it was released yet. If I'm wrong, hit me in the comments below. And then also the Amazon Fire Phone. Phew. That was probably one of the biggest flops of 2014. That phone did not sell. Their marketing was pretty funny with the two kids on the commercial. And yeah, Amazon, I don't know what happened really. I haven't been able to see the phone. I've watched a couple reviews on it, but that's really all I know about the phone. So that leads me to my question. Would you like to see a flop video, or the flops and the triumphs of 2014? If so, please like the video. And also, subscribe and stay tuned for more innovation now. See you guys in the next recap video or the next video I make. Bye!